Hi, I am Jen Merkling. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am really excited to be here with you. We are going to be talking about 5 things that can help you have some mental peace as we are entering the new school year. We're talking about living our priorities. And so I feel like when those things match up, it helps personally me with my anxiety and just feeling like I am on the right track with being a mom and a homeschool teacher and a wife. And so I just wanted to share my experiences with you in that area. As we get started, I just wanted to let you know that I am right here in it with you. This will be my 17th year homeschooling. I have 6 kids, so they range in age from 20 to 6-year-old twins. So I have 2 going off in college, 1 who is a senior in high school. I have a 3rd grader and twin kindergartners. So I am right here in it, and I've homeschooled since the beginning, since my oldest was just a preschooler. So I have gone through this for a long time, and it's been such a blessing in our life. But I will say that anxiety is something that I have always struggled with. As a child, I was one of those tightly wound kiddos. You can kind of see it coming when I look at my own children. And some of us, I think, are just a little more predisposed to be that way. And over the years, thankfully, I have found some things that have helped me kind of get a hold of that anxiety and the toll that can take on you physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And I hope that some of the things that we're going to talk about today can help you, because I know that it can be overwhelming being the teacher, the mom, the wife, taking care of everything. You are doing so much. And so we also have to talk about how can we take care of ourselves and how can we find balance, if there is such a thing. How can we at least feel that peace and live out our priorities? So the first thing that I want to share with you is that I think it's really important to start your day with God. And I did not do this in my early years of homeschooling. I just sort of started the day. There's so much to be done. And the first few years, I probably didn't even make that priority in my day at all. I didn't start doing like a quiet time, Bible study time until I was about 30 years old. And I became a mom when I was 22. So for a lot of those years, at the very beginning of my oldest kids, that just wasn't even on my radar screen. And then when I was 30, I realized I needed to make this a priority in my life. And so, but I was still having trouble fitting it into the busyness of being a mom. And so I would a lot of times find a quiet moment at the end of the day or sneak it in here and there. But I don't think I was making it a priority to start my day that way. And I would say in the last probably 6 or 7 years, I have made it a priority, made it a habit to start the day, no matter what, with God, with Jesus. And strangely, that has actually made all the difference. It's sort of counterintuitive. You are a super busy mom, but I promise you, if you can steal away some time at the beginning of the day before anything else gets going, it will help you so much. It gives me so much more focus and clarity and helps my anxiety when I give the day to the Lord and bring everything before Him. I just feel that I'm not scattered. If I don't do that, the days that I get sidetracked and things happen, I am just all over the place. And I just promise you, if you invest this time at the beginning of your day, I don't even think I could give you any piece of homeschool advice that will help you more. And I'm not saying that you need to get up the crack of dawn before your kiddos. I am not a morning person, girl. This is kind of what happens is my kids wake up around the same time as I do, and I get coffee. I get them a very simple breakfast, and I just take my coffee to the next room and I sit down, and they know that mom is doing this time. And truthfully, I feel like it is a great example to them that they're seeing me do it, and they know it's a really important part of my day, and that's how I start my day. And so I don't do it before they wake up. I just do it when we're all up, and I get my coffee in hand and I make my way over to the couch, and that's how we do it. So that is my first piece of advice, is if you don't already have that as part of your life or habit, I think it would make all the difference. I know personally for me that it has made all the difference. Oh, I was going to share with you that I use a very simple app on my phone. It's called First Five. It's run by Proverbs 31 Ministries, who is Lisa TerKeurst. If you're familiar with her at all, she is a thought leader in the Christian community, and she does a great job with her products, and her ministry is wonderful and lovely. It's non-denominational, and I love their First Five app. It goes through certain books of the Bible. So for example, right now we just started the book of Revelation, and I'm learning so much. So every day is just like a little piece that a different teacher, there's probably a rotation of at least 10 teachers that go through and talk about the study for the day. So it's not just one person, it's lots of different viewpoints, and it's just a little bite-sized bit for the day. So that is a wonderful Bible study that's available to anybody for free in the App Store. It's called First Five, and I love it. So go check that out if you are looking for something, if you need something to help you get started in that department. Okay, so the second thing, and I think I hear this all the time with homeschool moms, is the house. We're in our homes all the time with our kiddos, our family. When all of my kids are here, there are 8 of us. So I've got 6 kids, and it gets messy quickly. Of course, the little kids, they're their own kind of mess, and the big kids have papers on top of my husband and I's papers, and you should see the shoes by our back door. So it can get out of control really, really quickly. And for me, when the house is a mess, my mental peace starts to sort of definitely get disrupted. I get anxious. I start feeling a little like I can't really function at my best level if things are super dirty. Obviously, things are never super clean around here, but I just need my space to be tidy is important for me. And so I got married very young. I was 20, and I really had no housekeeping skills to speak of whatsoever. And it has been something that I have really, really had to learn. But just like the habit of starting my day with the Lord, the habit of getting my house together has been something I've learned. And I owe that all to someone called the Fly Lady. She, I believe her name is Marla Siley. I'm going to mess up the last name, but she's precious. You can find her at the Fly Lady. And I just absolutely love her. Everything that I have been able to learn about keeping house and having a routine, she's sort of a routine lady, a habit lady, all comes from her. And it has given me a lot of peace in my home, because I want to create a home that welcomes myself and my children and our family and friends and blesses all of us who are here. And that is really her approach. It's about blessing our family, loving ourselves. That's what FLY stands for, is finally loving yourself. And she's all about us procrastinating perfectionist ladies. She totally gets us. And so she really has these little baby steps that help you develop habits for your home. And so if you're not familiar with her, I cannot say enough nice things. She is lovely. The 3 things that I have found, I've been following her for over 15 years. And so I don't really have to get on her website every day or get her emails every day. I'm just they've become a habit. They've sort of become in the fabric of who I am running our house. But 3 things that I do every day that sound super simple, but have made all the difference, are doing the dishes every day, which shouldn't be that groundbreaking, but it is. If I don't do the dishes at night and I wake up to this dirty kitchen, it's so, it's just like this deflating way to start the day. And so her recommendation is always to do your best to get your kitchen tidy at night. And she has this lovely saying of, you can do anything for 15 minutes. And that is actually, I tell myself that all the time. Okay, Jen, you can do this. You can do it for 15 minutes and then you can walk away. So the dishes, I make my bed every morning. She's a huge advocate for making your bed every morning. She says that's sort of like the way that the sink is for your kitchen and your main living space. It's kind of, if that's dirty, it's sort of a magnet for all this other clutter. Your messy bed is sort of a magnet for a dirty bedroom. And so I believe that too. And I just very, very quickly make my bed every morning. And then 1 load of laundry a day. She says 1 load a day keeps Mount Washmore away. And for whatever reason, even with 8 people in our family, if I can make myself do a whole load of laundry, and that means wash it, dry it, and put it away, 1 of those a day, it actually really helps keep us on track. And those are the 3 things I do every day. Now, my bonus chore is if I can get 1 of our bathrooms done a day. Now, I don't always do that because that's probably my least favorite thing. And in my mind, I think it's going to take a lot longer than it does. But if I do that, then I notice by the end of the week, I have rotated through all of our bathrooms at least once. And it feels like we have a fairly manageable, clean, and she calls it company ready house. So I can't say enough nice things about her. She has a routine for keeping your home together where you would do different chore daily. So she has like different things for each day and like a weekly rotation. So 1 week you're focusing on the kitchen, and then the next on the living room, and the next on the master bedroom, and there's a rotation. So that's fantastic. So they've got the daily chores, like a weekly schedule, and sort of a monthly overall habit, which might be like drinking your water every day or getting in some exercise every day. Really great habits that I have always had to work on. So I can't say enough nice things about her. And if you're feeling a little overwhelmed about trying to manage the house and keep your sanity and having your family with you all day while you're homeschooling, if this is a struggle for you like it is for me, the Fly Lady will be a blessing to you. I just know it. Okay, the third thing that we are going to talk about is that sometimes we see so many beautiful, amazing curriculum out there and we think we need to do it all. And sometimes I thought, well, I can do all of these things. I can do Latin with my children. I can do logic. I can do very classical history lessons. And I would get so wrapped up and I'd have all of this great stuff, but it was nearly impossible to actually get it all done in a day and feel like we were having joy in our homeschool. And so my biggest piece of advice for you is to focus on the most important things. And for me, the most foundational things, especially at the elementary level, besides teaching my children our faith, would be math and getting that reading and writing piece in. So everything else is icing on the cake. And I know that probably sounds like, what are you talking about? But honestly, you will be doing life together, picking history and science topics that you're excited about and you want to learn about. That is fantastic. But there were years where I spent so much time focusing on trying to get all of those things in that I really missed the joy and even maybe didn't get to experience some of the more in-depth reading and writing that I wish that I could have done because I was getting sidetracked by these sort of side subjects. And so my piece of advice for you there is just so you can have more joy in your teaching time with your kids is focus on the things that are the most foundational. For me, I would say that is math and reading and writing and our faith. So I would also say that in the last few years, I read a book called The Read Aloud Family by Sarah Mackenzie, and she is really wonderful. She has the Read Aloud Revival podcast. I think it is wonderful, and she writes another book that is called Teaching from Rest, which is another fantastic book about giving yourself grace, which it fits right into what we're talking about here. But I thought I was a read aloud mom. I thought that was a big part of what we were doing. And then I read that book and I thought, wow, there is even more that I could be doing in this area. And it made me rediscover how much I love reading. I was a reader as a child, and I just felt like this sort of gave me permission to go back to my roots, reading aloud with my children. And it's become a really special foundational part of what we do together. And it just feels like no matter all the other craziness that might happen in a day with life and doctor's appointments or people getting sick, all the things that can happen in a family, if we have that connecting time together, I feel like we did something really meaningful together that day. So I can't recommend that book enough. She is delightful and full of so much wisdom. And also there's a lot of research in her book too that talks about how reading loud is amazing through the grade levels for vocabulary, just lots of being able to actually be a good writer after hearing such good literature, and of course the building vocabulary piece. So can't say enough nice things about her and her books as well. So focusing on the foundational things and enjoying all the rest, but not getting hung up on all the rest, is going to help you with your mental peace this year. The fourth thing I want to talk about is that play is really okay. And I've been seeing more and more research in the last few years about how for young children, play is their main vehicle for learning, and that we have this idea that we have to push formal education on young children. And you'll see, and at least in my area, kids are going to preschool. It seems like this very formal thing that you need to do. And I just don't want you to feel pressured. If you find something fun and you have time to do a formal preschool time with your kids, that is wonderful and they'll love it. But don't beat yourself up if that is not working in your schedule, especially if you are a mom of many kids like I am, and you're trying to get in math and phonics and all these things with your other kiddos, and you're not having time to pull together a formal preschool time. Play is absolutely 100% okay. They're listening and learning and cuddling and doing all the things that they need to do without having this very formal set preschool time. So I just want you to give yourself permission to take that off your plate, and I think you'll find that you can still really enjoy that time with them without adding that extra pressure onto yourself. In the same vein of talking about play, I want you to know that if you have multiple children and you're needing to work with someone one-on-one, it's really okay if the other kiddos are off playing and you don't have something structured for them right now. The typical homeschool day is so much shorter as far as what they need to do at academic time that they're working, that if they have some unstructured free time, that's great and they're gonna love it, and they're building their relationships with each other. So for example, if I'm working with my high school daughter and my 3 little ones are off playing, they're just building their relationship, having creative play, building vocabulary, storytelling, all sorts of things that happen during playtime. And so I don't worry about always having each piece of the day just because it's in the school schedule time that we're sitting down to do school. If there are people who are not doing a structured school activity, that's okay. My kids are really good, and you kind of have to develop this habit in them. If I say, okay, in 10 minutes, I'm going to be done working with your sister and it's going to be your turn, so I'm going to need you to stop playing in 10 minutes. My kids know that, yes, that means I'm going to stop playing without a fight, and it works out really well. Sometimes if they're playing really good though, I will say, you know what, I am going to give them some extra time and have some coffee and just let them keep playing, because I hate interrupting really where you feel that they are super engaged in a wonderful imaginary world. I hate to break it up. So sometimes I will use that as an escape to go do some laundry or have a little mental break for myself. And so just feel free. Remember that this is a routine and a lifestyle. And if it's not on schedule because they're deep in playing Castle and Prince and the Knights and at 10 o'clock, but you wanted to do reading at 10 o'clock, well, that's okay. You can be flexible, and that is the joy and the beauty of homeschooling. So I hope that helps a little bit. Play is good, and it will just be part of your routine. Okay, so the 5th thing, I'm kind of cheating a little bit here because it's going to sort of encompass a few things, is self-care. And I'm not talking about self-care as far as we need to go to the spa and get our nails done and all that fun stuff. I'm talking about really taking care of yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, this kind of thing. And for some people, they need to get out and have that coffee with their friends and all of that kind of thing. But I'm going to talk about something just more basic. And for me, the first thing is sleep. And it's really easy, I think, to cut ourselves short in that area. I'm a night owl, and so I can then pay for that the next morning. And I'm just learning over the years that when I am tired, I am short with my kids. So we were talking about what is our superhero power before this conference started, and I felt like patience and joy are things that mostly come very naturally to me in my home. But the thing that gets in the way, my kryptonite, is if I am tired, and I will have a much noticeably shorter fuse with my kids if I'm tired. So if you need to take a nap, if you need to take a break, do that. It will be a blessing not only to you and your body, but to your kids, and make sure you're getting the sleep that you need. I just can't say how important. I know personally it is, and we have to not neglect ourselves, because I think it really does come out in how we treat our family. So the second part of the self-care, besides the sleeping, is the eating. And I think a lot of us homeschool moms are really guilty of saying, whoa, hey, I didn't eat anything yet. And it'll be like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's really important, again, to make sure that you are eating regularly healthy meals, snacks. I am not a big cook. I wish that I was. I have my older kids are all doing different things. I've got a vegan, a vegetarian, all these different things going on. I can't even keep up with it all. And then I have my little kids who are super, super picky. But I still need to set and make a time for healthy eating for me. So I just want you to make sure that you're getting that focus in for yourself. Having quick, at least easy snacks. It doesn't have to be this gourmet meal, but that you're taking care of yourself too. And then the last thing is the exercise piece. And this is the hardest thing for me. I always think about, oh, I'll get to it, kind of the way I used to think about my Bible time, my quiet time with the Lord. I was like, oh, I'll get to it. And I would squeeze it in. And I have made the mistake of trying to squeeze in the exercise piece later in the day. And right now I'm really trying to focus on putting that big important chunk into the jar first. I'm sure that lots of you have heard that visual illustration, but it helps me, and if you haven't heard it, then you can hear it from me. But that idea of, if you have a jar and all the things in your life that are important, if we put the big rocks in first and then pour in the sand, all the extra things, it will all fit. But if we put all the extra not so important things in first, the sand, and then you start to try to cram your big rocks, your big priorities in, it's not all going to fit in the jar. And so I personally know that I need to put that clunk, that exercise piece into the jar much earlier in the day. And I'm trying to figure out still how I can make that a working piece of, because it's probably the least. I like eating and I like sleeping. So that's the thing that's not hard for me. I don't always like exercising. And so I'm trying to fit that important rock into the jar, into my day, before all of the side things. And I really encourage you to do the same thing too. And obviously, self-care for me, I told you, spiritually, that's the number one way I feel like habit for starting my day. Well, all right. I hope that those things have helped. I hope that as you're looking at this year, you feel that you are really able to put your priorities in line, that you see what is really the most important, and you're able to give God all of the things that you're worried about. I feel like homeschooling, sometimes we don't feel like we are equipped in every way. I'm personally not the most organized person. And it's interesting how God equips us all along the way, and He's going to be there, and He's going to help you and grow you, just like He's growing your kids through this experience. And I am thinking of you. I am praying over your new school year, and I just want you to have the most wonderful year, and that you can have mental peace. You can know that this is a wonderful journey for you and your kids, and living our priorities is going to help us have the year that we need and that we're hoping for. All right, thank you so much for joining me today. I have loved spending this time with you. Again, I am Jennifer Merkling, and if you ever have questions, please feel free to reach out to me. You can find me on my blog, jenmerkling.com. Thanks. Bye.